Me and Jake running down the street with a handful of comic books, kicking ass and banging chicks and drinking booze
No, not
and
me.
smoking
Not
weed.
me. I'm married.
Yeah, well,
I'm married.
Jake.
Can't do that.
Yeah. Off panel, off topic with Jake and Tyler.
Welcome to episode 30.
Did we catch me on there saying that?
No.
Good.
My Mac lagged on the recording, so we were both like, hey, get started. Get into it. So
We both said swears.
we said the F word.
We said the F-bomb, which is,
fuck.
yeah, it stands for fuck. Start off the show right. Yes!
All right.
Jesus. Right off the show, they started saying fuck, and I knew that this was not for my children.
So we are recording this right before the Tampa Bay Buccaneers play the Philadelphia Eagles.
Hurry up.
I'm a huge Bucs fan. One of my favorite things from the last game.
I like fucking too. Bucks fan.
The last game of the season, Tom Brady comes back into the game. He was taken out, big lead, but he goes, I'm going back in. Because he wanted his buddy, Gronk, to go into the front office because he got his incentives. He made $1 million off his last catch, Gronk did. And so he walked into that front office, looked Jason Light right in the face, and he said,
$1 million, bitch.
Welcome to Off Panel, Off Topic, everybody. Episode 30. Can you believe it? As I said at the top of the show.
Episode 30 makes me feel dirty.
What a fucking nightmare.
Sure was.
Today, it's going to be all about Peacemaker and Boba Fett. Those are the two things that have really kind of been
Oh my
mind.
God. Peacemaker is the fucking best thing in the freaking universe. But I digress.
You're messing with shit, man.
Sorry, man.
You're breaking the equipment.
I'm sorry. I'm just trying to make sure.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. Fun stuff to talk about. And we're going to talk about Peacemaker first. Now, if you haven't, we're going to talk about the first 3 episodes. So if you haven't watched the first 3 episodes, go on, and you don't have HBO Max, well, I'm sorry. Okay? But if you do have HBO Max, don't stop listening to this.
Let's go ahead and
we're going to spoil some things.
Let's go ahead and put this right at the top here.
Both these shows are going to be a lot of
Pizza time.
just a lot of spoilers.
What I was going to say is I know that there are some people, I do know some people who wait until the whole series comes out and then binge it. If that's you, don't even, just put a pin in this episode, like put it on your, whatever, on your playlist, and then wait until that, watch it.
Or wait for the full season recap, because we'll do a full recap of both the seasons.
Sure.
Just a big old funking.
Just a big old fucking recap.
I said funking.
Oh.
We're not swearing this episode.
Fuck.
I said yes.
Did you say $1 million, bitch?
I didn't say that.
Oh.
$1 million, bitch.
See?
And then you know what Jason Light said to Gronk?
I'll eat your ass.
So
it was an interesting time in the Buccaneers front office. The front office became the back office, if you know what I mean.
I'll eat your ass.
So anyway, speaking of eating ass, let's talk about Peacemaker.
Yes.
There's no ass eating in that show.
Not
I don't know
yet.
why I said that.
Wait, are we doing pizza time?
Oh yeah, I mean, no, I've already said it. This whole episode.
Pizza time.
Yeah.
We're in full pizza time.
As far
this
as
whole episode.
Through the first 3 episodes, he has not eaten ass, but I'm not dismissing it as a possibility.
It could happen.
Yeah.
We don't know. We've only seen 3 episodes.
We could see Vigilante eat some ass.
Let's talk about Peacemaker. So this is a show that I was already really interested in.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was extremely once I saw the first trailer at Fandom, I was fucking in 1,000%.
After I saw Suicide Squad, and I knew that I think it was already news that they were going to develop it.
They announced the show before Suicide Squad even came out. The Suicide Squad.
Yeah, we got to get it right.
We got to put the in there.
But I remember, I'm pretty sure on the episode where we talked about the Suicide Squad, we talked about how excited we were.
Yeah.
Because he just fucking nails. He lives in Peacemaker, dude.
Which is
great.
funny because last night I went back and I rewatched the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
And he isn't heavily featured in that movie. That is mostly blood sports movie.
Yeah.
But he is super impactful in the scenes that he's in, and he does. And again, yeah, John Cena's performance in that movie, I can understand how executives saw that and said, "What if we approach James Gunn about doing a show about this?" And I know the story is that James Gunn called John Cena, and it was James Gunn who's like, "Yeah, I'm writing the Peacemaker show." And again, this all happened because of COVID. Yeah. I don't necessarily think we have a Peacemaker show if it wasn't for COVID.
Yeah.
Because James Gunn wrote it in quarantine. He just sat down and wrote 8 episodes, and they went from there. So, yeah, he wrote every episode. He directs 5 of the 8 episodes.
I think so.
And so far, the first 3 episodes, he's directed them as well. But, yeah, John Cena's performance is actually really compelling in that Suicide Squad movie, where I could understand why they were like, I want to see this. I want to see more of it. Like, rewatching it, I fucking love James Gunn's DC stuff. Already. Yeah. His DC run has already been has been 1 movie and a show, and now he's got another secret TV show that he's working on eventually, because he's doing Guardians 3 right now. I'm getting long-winded here, but rewatching that first movie, my favorite scene in the movie is the scene where they go to the rebel camp and they fucking him and Bloodsport have a dick measuring contest with how they're killing people. Yeah. And it's so good and well shot and entertaining. And if you love that, you're getting more of that in the show. And that's what I fucking love about this show.
And just to kind of dovetail onto that, I was on social media yesterday and at work, and I was bored. And I found an interview with Cena and the girl who plays the blonde, Julia Harcourt is her character today.
It's Jennifer something. It's whatever. Go on.
They were interviewing both of them, and the interviewer was like, something about a 180 for Peacemaker, and Cena was like, hold on, there's not a 180. If you think about it, he actually says this. He's like, Peacemaker is not featured. That he kind of just says exactly what you just said. Like, he's not really featured in the movie. And this show gives James and I a chance to explore, what does Peacemaker do when nobody else is around? What does he think when all the lights are off?
Right.
And that's really cool how you said that, because that's almost verbatim what he said. He's like, I'm not in the movie that much. So it's not a 180. You just don't explore as much in the movie of my character as you will in the show.
But because like Peacemaker doesn't. Of course, he's featured in scenes, and that's what stick out to us, and that's why
he's more comic relief though than he's in depth.
A lot of the scenes he doesn't even talk.
Yeah,
a lot of the scenes he's just in the background, and again, that shows you the genius of James Gunn as a storyteller, that he features Peacemaker and everybody on that team enough in that movie to make you interested in them. So. You forget, but because you stick out to the encampment scene, the big fight he has with Rick Flag, his kind of turn at the end of the movie, all of that stuff isn't that much featured. But when it hits, it hits. Yeah. Like when he kills Rick Flag, 2 things. I was devastated because he killed Rick Flag, but the second thing was like, I was really rooting for you, and you still went back to what your mission was.
Yeah.
You know what was right, and the right thing would be to let people know what happened.
Yeah.
And when he says Peacemaker, and I love that they fucking call back to this in the show.
Yeah.
And we're going to kind of jump around all 3 episodes.
Oh, dude.
But when
Peacemaker is a joke.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
What are you doing?
When he says
facial muscle exercises.
And again, this is Cena's amazing performance with this character. You can see it in the movie, the remorse on his face that he killed him. He didn't want to kill him, and then the immediate change of seeing Ratcatcher 2 go to grab the hard drive and immediately being like, I still have to do this. And then she says, why are you going to kill me? You don't have to kill me. And he has a moment of regret, and he goes, because I'm thorough. And I love, again, and this is what's so smart about James Gunn, is how they continue to elaborate on that in the show.
Yeah.
This show is stupid and silly and over the top and ridiculous, but there's still like a lot of heart.
I want to live in the TV show. I really do.
But and again, that's what James Gunn is doing well. Is you want to root for Peacemaker.
Yeah.
You want to like him, and that's also because of the charisma of John Cena.
Yeah.
So like in the
nobody can dance at tighty whities like that motherfucker,
like
dude.
the first episode, and like you were saying about what John Cena was saying is, this is such an interesting way to develop him more, and like the first scene is so funny when he's just like. He's just, the guy's mopping and
they get the gratuitous butt shot in there too, which I loved
a few times. Yeah.
I loved that. I was like,
I love how James Gunn understands that women think John Cena's hot, so he's like, I've got to have him shirtless in at least one scene of each episode, you know. And I get it. If I look like John Cena, I'd never wear a fucking shirt ever, ever. Are you kidding me?
Me neither.
Yeah, no, that first scene even where this movie in universe or the show in universe talks shit on Aquaman, and I love that DC let him just say shit about their characters, like, yeah, but he's just like, he fucks fish, man. No, he doesn't. He go, but the way that again John Cena's delivery, if he fucked dudes, I wouldn't care. If he fucked chicks, I wouldn't care. But fucking fish,
that's where you draw the line.
That's where I draw the line. Didn't he say he fucked?
He's so earnest about it too.
He said he fucked something. He said he fucked a certain fish. I can't remember either.
Fuck sturgeon.
Sturgeon, yeah.
Yes, which is just. You know.
I saw it all over Twitter, man.
I like to think that James Gunn had to think about like 14 different kind of fish before he was like, no, sturgeon. It gets the.
I would have said like
laughs.
Scallop or something. Fucks a clam.
See, that's easy though. That's why we're not James Gunn.
Oh yeah, because obviously, yeah. I mean, scallop is low hanging fruit. Like, come on, you're right.
He was sitting there going like, "How about a Humboldt penguin? That'll get some
exactly.
laughs."
That's why he makes the big bucks.
Yeah, that's why we don't.
That's why we're not producers and filmmakers.
Dude, a clam, man. It looks like a pussy, dude.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah,
dude.
right.
Easy joke.
No. Come on, Warner Brothers.
Let him fuck a scallop. Hashtag release the scallop cut.
The scallop. Okay.
I like how you gave up on that joke halfway.
Pretty much.
The bit's done. You're right. The bit's over.
I would have to say, if since we're kind of jumping around, I just want to jump in here and just say before we move on, my favorite character on screen at this moment in my life is Vigilante, which played by the amazing. I've never heard of this guy, but Freddie Stroma. Fucking thumbs up, dude. The scene. First of all, the whole scene where he's like talking to him in his house.
Yeah, in his costume.
And he finds the pocket pussy. He's like, look at the Mr. Smiley face, which is hilarious. But acting with a mask, anybody will tell you, is hard. Because you have to almost, you kind of have to draw the line between overacting.
And I love his costume.
Dude, it's almost comic accurate. I think there's like one stripe of red that's out of the thing, but right, who gives a shit, right?
Yeah, I know. Well, actually, there's somebody out there.
Of course.
There's definitely people on Twitter.
But dude, when they pull his mask off, and he's
making his silly faces because he's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "They can't identify."
I almost pissed myself because I saw what he was doing, and I was like, "Okay, maybe." I almost figured it out right when he started saying it, like what he was doing.
Yeah.
Because my first thought is the mask was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And he's trying to adjust,
Yeah, fix his face.
But then he kept doing it. I'm like, I think I know where this is going. And then he says it. And I'm like,
yeah. But
fuck to the yes.
Well, okay. So the first sequence happened. Like, here's what I was gonna say about the.
I just wanted to throw that out there.
Well, no, it's fine. Like I said, we're gonna be jumping around with this. But like I said in the first episode, like even that is an example of okay. I'm back in. I'm interested.
Right.
I'm interested in Christopher Smith. I'm interested in Peacemaker. Okay, yeah, this is James Gunn's DC, right? And when he gets like the way that this show. I told Ashley this because she's on the fence. I don't really think she's interested in this, which I think is funny.
It's okay.
But I think it's silly because she actually really likes the Suicide Squad. But anyway, after he gets out of the hospital and gets into a taxi, he like gets excited, and then the theme song starts to kick in. And I'll tell you this: if you don't like the opening dance sequence,
stop watching.
You don't like the show. Because I feel like that is a perfect tone setter of how ridiculous this world is.
And by the way, HBO Max, I know that you have this on every single show, but
I will never skip it.
I read something. I read a review of the opening sequence, and the guy said he used the words he used was the highly offensive skip intro button, and I was like. It made sense to me because I was like, I know that's on every show. I know that.
Yeah.
But seriously, HBO Max, get rid of it. Nobody should skip that.
Yeah.
In fact, if they want to, they shouldn't be watching the show.
I just love it because it's such a throw. Like, this whole show is a cheeky.
How they're all expressionless during the dance.
Yes,
that's
the serious
best
face
part.
is the funniest part of it. But yeah, so they had like that huge number, and it is so that intro is so popular.
Yeah.
They released it. HBO Max released it on their YouTube channel, just the intro, and James Gunn tweeted about it. John Cena tweeted, and that was their goal. Like, they said, we wanted to make this intro that was so ridiculous that you couldn't skip it, and it's a throwback to 70s and 80s shows that had these really long choreographed intros to their shows. So it was really funny to see that. And I told you this when I first watched it. I thought it was just another scene in the movie. I'm like, or in the show, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then I saw a skip intro, and I'm like, wait, this is every episode?
Yes.
And then I watched the other 2 episodes. I'm like, son of a bitch, this is and I didn't skip it.
I read. See, like,
there's got to be numbers somewhere. That's
yeah.
like, how many people actually watch the whole intro?
I that same article, that same review before I saw the show was part of one review. And I read that and I was just like, I can't fucking wait. And I almost stayed up. I think it came out on Thursday.
Yeah, 2 a.m. our time.
I almost tried to
Thursday.
stay up on Wednesday night just so I could watch the first show, but I didn't.
I watched the first episode at 2 a.m.
Oh, yeah?
And
I watched.
I regretted it because I
Oh,
fell asleep at like 3 o'clock.
I honestly was. I binged all 3 episodes the next day.
Yeah, me too. I watched the other 2 episodes.
And I remember
the same
reading that
day.
article and being like, I can't wait to see this fucking open. And then it happened, and I can't get enough of it. It's such a catchy song. It means nothing, and it's awesome.
And it sets the tone. It's a throwback. And I think it's funny because it can be frustrating sometimes when you see movies that are bad and that you say that like it blends too many things.
Yeah.
But when it's done right, and you blend like what James Gunn is able to do with all of his projects, where he blends a bunch of different styles to make this story. He brings in that dance number, so it gives you that old 70s, 80s throwback feel. The music makes you.
The song is from 2019, by the way.
Right. Okay. Well, I know it's Wigwam is the band.
Yeah.
And it's, yeah.
Which is funny because it sounds like it's from the fucking 80s.
There's bands like Steel Panther that are out there that are
and the Darkness and stuff.
Yeah.
Like they're bringing back the glam. There's a little bit of a glam resurgence.
But the funny thing is that it blends that style, and it's more of a throwback to 80s style, like action, like A-Team shows. But it's also like super raunchy.
I was watching the A-Team yesterday.
It's super violent. It's super raunchy and silly and over the top.
If you are about
but it's amazing.
to watch,
It blends so well. I can't say enough how much I fucking love this show.
Me neither. But kind of going along with what you were just saying, if you were like, hey, it's Thursday, I'm gonna watch the show when I get home. Don't, and you pick up dinner on the way home. Eat your dinner first.
I'm fine. I don't. Well, it's only.
I'm totally fine too, but there are some people I know, like that if they're not ready for it,
stuff is pretty bad.
Yeah, but if you eat like me, you're done within 10 minutes of the show starting.
So for me, after I was already like
you won't have any food to eat at that point.
I was already 1,000% in because I love pretty much everything James Gunn has done. And
yeah, that son of a bitch.
I'm even talking going back to fucking Slither days. I'm talking about this movie Super. So I've always really liked his stuff, but then you added that ridiculous intro, and it just kind of it immediately took me into this place of like, okay, I love what he's doing, and I love how different his DC work is than his Marvel work.
Yeah.
Where I think with DC, you're getting to see more of the classic James Gunn.
I think he's got more restrictions definitely at Marvel, which don't necessarily.
One thing he did say when he worked at Marvel, he said the only restrictions he had, or only like things that he had to do in that script, was he had to bring in Thanos and he had to explain the Infinity Stones. Other than that, he was free to do whatever.
No, I mean I'm saying like I think he kind of he reads the room when he's working at Marvel.
Well, and he's also asked to make Guardians, and Guardians is more family friendly, and And he can do that, and I think Guardians are both the movies are great.
I'm saying like I'm thinking that.
But what I'm saying, I'm saying I agree with you. I think you're seeing he had a lot more creative freedom at Warner Brothers and DC.
Yeah,
and I think that's intentional because I think that's what they want to do post Snyder. So
they should be.
But his DC like it's so weird because this show and the Suicide Squad are very cynical.
Yeah,
but
so
also have a lot more empathy and a lot more heart than you'd expect. Like that again, watching the Suicide Squad, the scene with the rats and the music and the rats taking over and Harley Quinn jumping it, like actually seeing them succeed made me happy. And then that's why this show can be frustrating because you want to see Peacemaker do the right thing, and then he does something when you're like, "Damn it, man!" And a great example is in the show when he's crying. I felt for like it's played for laughs and it is funny, but you do feel for him.
Yeah, you feel bad because it's like I mean,
he knows
who hasn't been in that situation where
nobody likes because
you're trying so hard.
You see a change. You see him trying to change. You see him wanting to be a better person.
Yeah, I mean he's understanding that his persona is pushing people away, and
nobody
he's
likes
sad
him.
because he likes his persona. It's something he came up with, and it's kind of an attack on him. Like, well, I came up with that. It's, if you don't like it, you don't like me. And I've been there. Fucking my music, dude. Yeah.
Well, and it's also
it is funny.
It's also a commentary
but sad.
on vigilantism and like the harder R-rated side of comic books, like the Punisher. It's
and then Vigilante comes in and basically turns all that upside down.
Well, here's it. Well, that's the point. That's the whole point. Is you like Vigilante, but then you realize he's a murdering sociopath.
He's a fucking psycho. You know, people are graffiti. I didn't want to kill him, but I had to.
Did I feel good about it?
No.
Yes.
And then when they're trying to get the butterflies in episode 3.
Yeah. Well, okay. So
Chase, get up here.
I wanna get to that too.
Sorry.
But yeah, it is interesting. And again, it goes back to Cena's performance. He's so charismatic that you want to, this whole show, you're just like, God damn it, just do the right thing. And I think it's a great example in the first episode, the way it ends. Because the first episode, if the dance number didn't get you into it, if you don't like the final sequence of this first episode, you don't really like the show. But before you get to like the third act, like climax of the episode,
so to speak,
he's driving his, we haven't even fucking talked about Eagly, and we got to talk about Eagly.
Right.
Some dude was like, that CGI bird takes me out of it. I'm like, actually, I love the fact that he's a shitty CGI bird. It actually adds to the show, I think, personally. But anyway, he's driving with Eagly, and he's jamming out, and he sees Hardcore go to a bar.
Yeah.
So then he goes to the bar, and then she gets catcalled and all this stuff, and then he shows up and talks to her, and she beats up some dude, and then that was so fucking hot.
Which is great because addressing something for all of you incels who might be listening. By the way, stop listening
because this show is super woke.
Oh, dude! But here's the thing: is
according to them,
I've actually seen a dude act that way towards a woman who wouldn't talk to him. I have.
Yeah.
So all of you pieces of shit out there, in case you're like, oh, that's a little over the top. That does happen a lot more often than you would like to admit to yourself.
There are a lot of men out there that think they're entitled to a woman.
Yeah.
A lot.
And it's disgusting.
Yeah.
So honestly, I love her reaction.
And you can say that...
I love that she didn't flinch when he came at her. Like, that was such a douche move. And I've seen it. Ugh.
Yeah. Well, and then again, in that same scene, you're like, okay, so Peacemaker's... Don't try and hit on her. Just try and be her friend.
Yeah, you're kind of... And then you
then
realize...
She said, and then the best part is and that's what I love about this show, is these characters are not afraid to tell him to his face how much of a dick and much of an asshole he is. Because she's just like... He's like, well, when you say... She's like, oh, I clocked you making a U-turn coming in here.
Yeah.
And he, see me. And he's like, well, when you put it like that, it sounds stalkery. She goes, because it was... Or stalker shit. She goes, because it is stalker shit. And it's like, again, such a funny way to throw it back in. And like, yes, that is, like, that's just not how you should interact with women. They're not, these objects. They're not. And again, you can say that's woke. I'm like, no, that's not woke. That's just being a considerate fucking human being.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what this show is trying to convey, because the scene ends and again, plays for laughs for a minute, where Cena's like, I just want to fuck. Like, he's like, no relationship.
No, don't touch you above here.
Above here.
Above here, because I got to touch your boobies.
Yeah. But then her ending to that scene is, I wanted to just have a drink, but I don't fucking have that luxury, do I? And then she leaves. And that's true for women, and it's fucked up. And I love that this show addresses things like that, because it takes his what Peacemaker views as the world, and he has these people telling him, no, you're being a racist piece of shit or whatever, sexist, whatever, and he's starting to learn. Because you start to see him develop.
Well, the problem with society...
Also, his dad's a fucking piece of shit. We haven't talked about that, but anyway.
The problem with society is that men, and I'm saying this as somebody who is a man...
a straight white man.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't know what the fuck. What's up? Yeah, do some Creed.
Yeah.
I'm
white and I'm straight.
No,
I'm
but
a
dude,
fucking generic dude.
You know, you ask a question to somebody like, what was going through your head at that moment, okay? Which thing? I don't know about you, but I don't have, like, people like to talk about there's one thing in your head at a time. I'm talking, but I'm also thinking about 17 other things right now. So it's rare when I am not in some way or shape or form thinking about sex. It just is. It's probably in there somewhere. Right now, it's not at the forefront because I'm talking about podcasts and
well,
stuff.
I mean, that's
whatever.
just the society we live in.
What I'm saying is that
everything.
It is so alien for me to think of not thinking about sex. So even though I don't do shit like that,
yeah,
like I totally get why. I totally get why women like, hey, I want nothing sexual. I wanted to look nice and have a drink.
I did it for me, not for you.
Yes.
That's the most important thing that people don't understand. When a woman dresses up or, whatever, it doesn't necessarily mean she wants the male gaze.
Just because
she just wants to look good.
Just because every guy out there at the bars and shit is on the prowl doesn't mean, in fact, most women probably are not.
Maybe they're just meeting some friends.
Probably not, actually.
Yeah.
More often than not, I'm willing to bet that that less than half of the women out at the bars are looking to get some dick. Because let's talk about guys. They go, "I'm gonna get some puss." No woman is going out there going, "I'm gonna get some dick." Because guess what?
Well, there's probably.
Because guess what?
There's probably some.
There's probably not a lot of ladies out there who couldn't if they really, So and that's the other thing too, is we're just dogs. So.
We're shitty people.
Yeah. Anyway, the point is that
no,
it makes sense that she just wanted to have a drink.
I just like that the show
and he doesn't get that.
Addresses this idea. It addresses the thing of like, we have to understand that just because that's how things were doesn't mean they were right.
Just because a woman
they were good.
Yeah, just because a woman is in public doesn't mean she is automatically open to being asked out or talked to or charmed.
And there's also nothing wrong with approaching someone, asking to have a drink with them or something.
Yes.
And them rejecting you. That's totally fine.
Yes, and then you walk away and go, okay, thanks.
Okay, thanks. I know look, rejection sucks. Everybody hates rejection, but that's an easy way to just solve everybody's problems is just, I'm not interested. Okay, I respect that. Walk away.
To be really honest, you might actually get like, hey, thanks for...
I didn't expect this to go this deep on the bar scene. But
no,
but
seriously,
the fun
like
of the podcast.
For all you know, man, you might hey, do you want a drink? I honestly am just not looking for, I just please, respect, oh, totally cool. Have a nice night. You start walking away. Hey, you know what? I was actually just kind of testing you. I kind of do that sometimes. You seem like a nice guy. Come out and have a drink. Maybe.
But also, yeah.
But you know what? If she does it, that's fine too.
It doesn't help.
I'm just saying
it doesn't
that
help that a lot of movies.
You're going to get a lot more in return if you fucking like move your head towards her like the douchebag in the fucking bar. You're not going to get anything that way. And honestly, any woman who's like, "Oh, I want you," might need some therapy.
Yeah, she's definitely had a bad upbringing.
Like, I don't want to have a drink with you, but then you threaten me physically.
So
now I'm horny. Yeah, like what? Yeah.
Anyway,
Nobody's
didn't
like
expect
that.
to go that deep in it, but that's fun. That's fine. That's the fun of the pod. That's what I said. All right.
Fun of the pod.
That's the fun of the pod.
Fun of the pod.
Anyway,
Pod fun.
but then he clocks a woman at the bar after hardcore leaves.
And she's totally like a heavy metal like.
Right. She looks like she was plucked out of the 80s, which is hilarious. And then the next cut is him just fucking railing her, and he's just going, freedom! I laughed so fucking hard at that scene. Oh, my God. And then I had a buddy text it to me, because he finally watched it, and he just texted me freedom with an exclamation point, and I just started laughing.
So great.
And then that leads into the funnest sequence of the first episode.
Oh, yeah.
Is the fight, because he starts playing, because it's Choir Boys, the Choir Boys. He starts playing I Don't Love You Anymore. He's
singing.
Oh, he's like, oh, that's a great track. This is the first thing they shot of the show.
Okay.
This is what James Gunn said. This is the first thing they shot because they did like this Peacemaker watch party on Twitter.
Okay.
So I was scrolling through the tweets, and yeah, the scene with Cena in his underwear was the first thing they shot. And James Gunn goes, he's like, that was the moment. And I was like, I hit the jackpot with John in this role. Yeah. And then Cena tweeted, it was like, wait, you filmed that? But it was so funny that because he just standing and the fucking making the tears come down his face with his hands.
Other kids on the school used to call me Chimp Arm.
Yeah, I forgot about that. But then so he's playing it and he's dancing, and then the woman goes to the bathroom and she's like, I need to go wash up or something.
She's been in the bathroom most of the time,
right?
When he's doing
he keeps
this.
talking, and oh my God, the dialogue in this,
which you can tell something's gonna happen with the girl because she's just standing in there the whole time,
brushing her teeth. Yeah, you know there's something up.
Yep.
And the funniest part is some of the shit he was saying. He's like, you know, man, I don't know. It sounds corny, but
pussy?
Yeah, he's like, when I was deep in your pussy just now, I felt free. I was like, Jesus.
That's the other thing is James Gunn dialogue. People talk like that.
Yeah,
they do. I know you don't want to think it, but a lot of people talk like that, and that's why part of his brilliance is not only writing.
He has some like ridiculous dialogue, but it works. It contextually makes sense.
Not only the way he writes the dialogue, but also clearly how he directs
it would
the
make
people
sense
doing
it. So far, I don't see how what I've seen from Christopher Smith as Peacemaker, what I've seen of him and what James Gunn's version of him is, that makes total sense that he would say, when I was deep in your pussy just now.
Oh, yeah. 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 It's never out of character.
No. But, dude, I laughed so hard at that line, too. I was like, good God. Because I was just thinking, like, because there's times that I'm thinking it is going to be that it's this weird balance of it's funny because it's ridiculous or it's genuinely funny. And a lot of this is funny because it's ridiculous. But it's also, like, the Vigilantes thing, it's ridiculous, but it's funny. I love it.
The final sequence of the third episode, which we'll get to, is Vigilantes, my favorite Vigilante moment. But let's continue with first episode.
No, and then the fight sequence is amazing. Like, and again, it's one of those things where I know it's coming, but I still enjoyed it. Like, when he's fighting in the way that it's shot, very similar to the Suicide Squad, he's doing some tricks with the camera that he hasn't really done before, and I really like it.
Yeah.
Like, the first sequence where she comes in with a knife, is cutting him and shit, stabbing him and slicing at him, and he's fighting her. And then she drops him down in the bathroom, and he tries to grab the thing. He's like, no! And she drags him in, and then it's just a shot on the wall. And I'm like, he's clearly going to... And then it just right through the wall. Yeah. And I was like, but it still works because it's still funny. Because John Cena has amazing comedic timing dialogue, but his physical comedy is fucking amazing in this show.
Reason why
it shouldn't be funny that he's falling down the side of a building, but it's funny as hell every time.
Well, when you think about how much stunt work is involved in pro wrestling,
right?
You know he's doing his own stunts.
Well, and that's the thing.
Most of them.
And that's the thing. He knows how to tell a story with his body.
Yeah.
So that would make sense that he's funny. Like he has a comedic. Physical comedy.
So fucking funny, dude.
But no, because he's amazing in that scene, and then the sequence in that fight where they're going back and forth, and she's doing like crazy shit. And she's like growling at him, like she's clearly not human.
Yeah.
At that point, and he just looks at her and just jumps out of a window, and I was like, where did he go? Like, did he just die? And then he lands on his back. on his the part where his clavicle,
yeah.
which by the way, timeout. I liked that he explained it just by saying the bullet didn't hit an artery; it just went and broke his collarbone.
Yeah.
But I was like, he lost a lot of blood for that to be hitting a collarbone. But I think that was also a situation where Casina himself was like, didn't Peacemaker die? And then James Gunn's like, I got it. I figured it out. But anyway, so he lands on that part where he broke his collarbone, and he just goes, every time he does, he's like, fuck.
Yeah. Because he does it constantly.
He's clearly not, he's not, he just healed, so he shouldn't be fucking up his collarbone. And then and then you don't know where he goes because, again, this is the cool, like, horror throwbacks to his earlier work is, like, it's like kind of a horror sequence because she's trying to hunt him. And then Eagly's just flying around, being an eagle. And that's why I love that name, Eagly.
Yeah.
Well, then remember when they said, what's your dog's name? Dogly? Dottery?
Yeah, Dottery.
And then he just goes, sounds like a lot. Some guy's jealous of my pet eagle.
Right.
Why are you?
Economos is fucking great,
when
by
he
the way.
shows up at the diner in full costume.
Yeah.
And why are you wearing that ridiculous? It's a uniform and it's new, so I gotta stretch it out.
For mission. Hey, Sweet Cheeks.
It means your butt. No, it doesn't.
No, she had very cherubic cheeks.
It means your butt. No. Yeah. The butt baby shit.
Oh my god. I was just thinking about you the whole time and the turd baby.
Yeah. But anyway,
butt babies.
Listen to our other podcast that we did.
Yeah.
For that joke.
Yeah.
But the sequence when he finally gets it and activates, we find out that his dad, who we haven't touched on yet, surprisingly, he makes his helmets. We find out that he makes all of Peacemaker's equipment, and he gives him a helmet that he says is the sonic boom. So she comes and she's running. She finds him. She jumps up in the air, and he goes, "Activate sonic boom." It like hits her, and she just explodes.
Well, around him, he like this.
Yeah, it's a force
crater,
field that hits her and just destroys everything around him, and she's fucking just putty. And and then he's sitting there, and then the eagle drops him a possum.
Yeah.
And then lands next to him, and then the fucking rock music Love Bomb, I don't remember the band, starts playing in the background, and then it goes to credits, and I'm like, amazing.
Yeah.
When it hit with the glam rock at the end, I'm like, I fucking love it. I love this. And then episode 2 happens, and we haven't touched on his dad. So his dad is played by Robert Patrick, Augie Smith, racist piece of shit. Like the first thing he says is a gay slur, and then later he says another gay slur. I don't think he has ever dropped an N-bomb, but I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't at some point in the show.
Yeah, he hasn't said like anything outright.
He saw an Asian cop and called her chopsticks.
Yeah, he was pretty rough with her.
Yeah.
I mean, but I will say that when you understand how many words there are that are awful like that and what they could have used, he was still pretty tame.
Yeah, but still pretty bad.
Oh, awful. But the reason why,
well, and I want to talk about this.
She also fought back too. Like spoon.
He's mentioned in the second episode. We get we get a scene with him that kind of alludes to his backstory. But the scene where he meets his dad to get his new helmet and new costume, because he still has the bloody destroyed one from the movie.
Yeah,
and they're sitting there talking. They're eating. And he just starts, John Cena, it's quiet, he just starts chuckling to himself, and then he goes, so you want to hear the story? Then he talks about Bloodsport's tragic fucking backstory of the rats biting him.
Yeah.
And the only reason his dad finds it funny is because his dad thinks it's funny that the kid was tortured.
Yeah.
Which says a lot about Augie. And James Gunn said in an interview he wanted people to understand that there are people like this in this world that are truly evil. And he wanted to highlight someone like Augie. And it's interesting because this show gets compared to The Boys a lot. And I understand that because both deal with heavier topics of the time. The Peacemaker's a lot more really upfront about how they're dealing with white supremacy and vigilantism. Where The Boys, it was a little bit more nuanced in the first season. The second season, they come out strong because Stormfront is a Nazi. And then go into that. Spoilers, I guess, but I think you knew about that. But anyway, but I think they're both I like the comparison with The Boys because I think they're both great examples of how we can use this genre. And Watchmen did it too with the Rorschach people being white supremacists, which, by the way, if you really read Watchmen, it makes sense because Rorschach's a racist piece of shit.
Yeah.
People miss that part in the journal entries. He definitely uses slurs. He definitely says, yeah. But I love that this show addresses it this way and shows that Peacemaker isn't really a bad guy. He just has a shit heap of a father, like a truly evil person. And but that scene when he's talking about Bloodsport's origin and the way that he laughs at that and he goes, "Please tell me he didn't shoot you." And then Cena, and this is again why Cena's performance is so good. You feel for Chris in this scene because you see him just have the look of like, oh no, he's gonna be disappointed in me.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't enough.
Yeah.
And then he's like, what kind of fucking? And then he just goes into a racist, bigoted tirade. Oh man, I'm glad that Chris didn't mention it was a black man that shot him because it probably would have gotten real bad. And again, you're right. That shows restraint. That shows restraint from James Gunn because he could have easily written that in there, and he knew that it wouldn't. The story still works with just him knowing that my son got shot. He's a fucking loser. And then in that moment, it switches to, I just came here to get my stuff. Like he wanted to leave immediately because, and again, you start to understand why Peacemaker is the piece of shit that he is because it's his upbringing, and it sucks. It's tragic.
Yeah, I think definitely his dad is a good character, and they kind of allude to what he is, the White Dragon, I think.
Yeah, and the White Dragon is a character in DC.
Yeah, very obscure.
That is a racist villain.
Very obscure.
And his references to the KKK even, his name.
Oh, yeah.
Because Dragon is like the highest rank in the fucking...
Yeah.
Which, by the way, they got Grand Wizard, and it's like, why are these racist fucking lunatics such nerds? Like... Wizard and
I'm the Grand Wizard.
Hey guys,
yeah, do you play with your Barbies too, you pussy?
If you didn't hate minorities, you probably could have had a lot of fun with fucking
Dungeons
D&D and LARPing. You guys could have had
Fuck
so much fun,
dude.
but you had to be bigots.
Yeah, for no reason too.
You had to be shitty people.
Here's the most disgusting part about racists. Almost none of them have actually met or had any sort of interaction with any of the groups of people they hate. They just learned it from some other dumb piece of shit who told them. And they're so fucking stupid that they don't have the critical thinking to go, well, I've never met a black man. Why would I believe that?
Which is a great example of how the show works because Peacemaker believes everything he reads on Facebook and Twitter. And I love that they reference that because and again, it's done for laughs, but
you want to know
I was going to talk about the butt baby scene.
Oh, real quick, you want to know how to spot a psychopath? Okay, if you suspect one of your friends being a psychopath,
how?
Start yawning around them. Cuz yawning,
they don't yawn. They don't have empathy.
The yawning is empathetic. The contagious yawning, you're empathetic towards the person yawning. Psychopaths are not. So if you start yawning around somebody, you expect what I'm saying is
you're gonna yawn and just immediately like, look who's yawning.
There's a particular friend of ours named the White Knight who we should start yawning around a lot. I got some suspicions. Okay, moving on.
He's not a racist though.
No. I just think he's a psychopath. He's a fucking socio-fucking-path.
I love that you use that term because nobody but us knows that.
I think he's more of a sociopath.
Oh, for sure. Anyway.
Moving on. It's an in-joke.
It's a good thing he doesn't listen to the show. I hope.
Honestly, if he did, dude, I wouldn't care.
Anyway.
Truth hurts.
Before that, that's where we see Vigilante and Peacemaker really interact for the first time because they have this scene where they shoot shit. Which is great. But I love that, again, it goes back to what we were talking earlier. He's crying. He's playing a record. He's like, and because he gets stitched up, and he goes back to his trailer, which I love that he lives in this white trash
Of course, he's
trailer.
listening to Firehouse, which I love. I used to own that album.
Dude, I love the glam in this show.
I love how he takes all the fucking records with him.
He needs to grab important
It's
stuff.
a great fucking collection.
So the only reason she tried to kill him is because he had the dossier with him. for the butterflies. And he's like, what? I didn't want to leave it in my car.
Right.
Forget it. Somebody could have stolen it in my
Fucking idiot,
car.
right?
And and then there's a great scene because he finds out his name is Economos. John Economos.
That guy's funny.
And this is what I love about James Gunn.
Diebeard.
What I love about James Gunn and how he knows canon of obscure shit. They talk about Batmite for whatever fucking reason.
Please fucking bring me Batmite, James Gunn. Please fucking bring him.
Dude.
I would love. I love how he starts.
That yes was better than the drop.
Isn't it the third? Isn't it the third episode where he starts off the show like talking about homunculi?
I think something like that.
And at the end of the episode, the little thing comes out.
Well, and another thing, he talks about at one point. He talks about Wookiees' assholes having teeth.
That's canon.
Yeah, and he says that's canon. And I was like, good God. But no, just the fact that we have a mainstream HBO show that references Batmite.
That's
an
fucking
HBO
great.
Max show that references Batmite.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. But
Classic.
And that's why I think James Gunn is going to thrive in this DC because DC has so many fucking obscure, weird characters.
Yeah.
He turned Armfall Off Boy into TDK pretty much. But like shit like that. There's so much in there that you could mess around with. But he talks to him and he keeps calling him Diebeard because he thinks that he has grays in his beard, obviously. Yeah. And he's like, no, my beard just has weird color.
It's always been like that.
Yeah. As someone who has like weird red hair mixed in with his dark brown beard hair, I can respect that.
Have we talked about Judo Master yet?
Not yet.
Holy
shit.
Fuck, dude.
So
cute.
Vigilante shows up.
Eating his real red hot Cheetos.
Vigilante shows up.
What the fuck is in Cheetos? Sorry.
While he's crying,
yeah.
And he's like, "Are you jerking off out there?" He's like, "What?" He goes,
"Yeah, he keeps not looking."
So you wanted to jerk off? I'm not looking over there. And he's like, I don't have my dick out.
It's like 5 minutes.
For me, it's one of those situations where this joke goes way too long. But I get annoyed and then I come back around to it just because it's like again a conversation that I've not necessarily to this extent about having someone's dick out, but I've had a conversation like this where somebody's been arguing, like, no, I don't believe you. And it's like, no, you just trust me. Like I've had that as
yeah.
So the fact that he's just like, I don't have my dick. No, that's the first thing you would say. So I'd look.
Yeah. It's just, I mean,
it's not my dick's. Look at my crotch. Look at my crotch. My dick is not out.
It's just a great exchange.
Yeah.
In general. And you really get to introduce the vigilante, who is just fucking awesome. Yeah. I love when he's talking to him from behind the dumpster. People do this. Yeah. Nobody does that.
Well, the sequence when he's cleaning up his apartment and he's just sitting there, and then that's where you really find out that Vigilante is
nuts,
really sinister. And I think we're also at the point where we're starting to see Peacemaker start to come to terms with what he did in Corto Maltese, and he's also coming to terms with he's like, should I be killing people?
Yeah.
It's kind of his thought at what he's dealing with. And then Vigilante goes, look, when I have to kill someone for, he starts naming hard crimes like murder or assault, or a little bit of graffiti. I was like, good God. I start laughing because I'm like, holy fuck, this guy's insane.
Yeah. Well, everything he picks up is, where does this go? With the CDs. He has a CD in his hand. Where does this go? With the movies. He has a movie. You can clearly see that there's a lot of like normal human like things that just escape Vigilante. Yeah. They just missed.
And then the next scene is those two shooting guns and enjoying themselves.
Which is great.
He's like, shoot this off my head. And he he didn't even say it. He just has it on his head. He shoots it off. And then Peacemaker puts something on his dick and he's like, shoots it off.
It's largely, there's not a lot of dialogue, but it's great.
He's like, oh! Yeah, like that. And then, he shoots a peace symbol into the fucking... So then he goes to do his mission and fucking Vigilante's hiding behind... When he says I got it in the Vigilante Mobile, and he goes, Vigilante Mobile? Yeah, you've seen it.
It's a Prius.
The Sebring?
The Sebring, yeah. It's just a Sebring.
Well, I'm not gonna paint a giant fucking V on it.
Yeah, you want me to put purple and shit?
But
he's behind the bush. That's a different sequence.
Yeah, but
they know you're here, dude.
Yeah, but so he's behind the trash can, and they're like, "This is normal people talking."
Yeah.
No, it's not. Nobody does that.
I think the one thing I like most about him is how cheery his voice always sounds.
And he's doing heinous things.
Yeah, even when he's like getting his toe like ripped off his fucking body.
Maintain your torture shit.
Yeah.
So,
I just love it.
Yeah, so that well actually no, that's episode 3, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
episode 2. We kind
episode 2, but
no,
throughout his voice.
I'm sorry.
Whenever he talks,
I will say there was something that I want to talk about in episode 2. I love that it picks up after the first episode, and he immediately just starts it with, "What the fuck is a butterfly?"
Yeah.
calls Harcourt.
Yeah,
and so she's like, "God damn it!" So she has to go save him. And what I love about it is when he's because they reference, it's a good callback, and this is why I love James Gunn. It's a callback earlier because he's putting his Peacemaker shirt back on, and he can't get it all the way on, and he goes, "Damn it, Dad!" as he's trying to put it back on because he couldn't stretch out the uniform. And I'm like, that's such a stupid joke, but I love that there's continuity like that.
Yes.
And so, and then he's like, I gotta grab all the important stuff, grabs the dossier, and then grabs all of her records.
And puts it all up in a bed sheet.
He just wraps, and then he tries to escape, keeps falling and crashing, and then he meets the couple.
So real quick.
By the way, we've gone an hour just talking about Peacemaker.
Yeah, we might not talk about Boba Fett. That's okay because we're gonna watch the Buccaneers. Okay.
Yeah.
You can. We'll be okay with that. Anyway,
we'll talk about Boba Fett, but not as extensively as Peacemaker.
So on Wikipedia, I was trying to see like what kind of characters were going to be in the show. So I went and looked at Peacemaker on Wikipedia, and they have the cast section.
Yeah.
And in the cast section, at the very end, they have this one actress, and her character is wife of Evan, and the actor is husband of Jennifer or whatever her name is. And I'm like, those are weird character names. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's all they say about him. And I had
is it the
this
senator?
Is way before I watched the show. No,
the senator and his family.
No, this is the couple that he meets on the way down.
Gotcha.
But it's funny that like it was like Evan, and then the actor's name, wife of
and that
or
just
husband
shows
of,
you this is the most James Gunn thing of the episode is just. Why are any other show he ties them up? Nothing. This show he has a whole dialogue with them about those two having a bad relationship and her wanting to.
She is
fuck
pretty
him.
sexy, dude.
And him what? That's a nice. He's tying her up.
Yeah,
that's a nice negligee you got there. And she's like, "Yeah, Evan thinks I'm fat," and he goes, "I didn't say that. I'm just saying he had better ones." And I was like, "Oh God!" And then even then, Peacemaker goes, "Oh, that's a tough one, buddy." Like that.
You serious?
She said, "Thank you." And then she's like, "Oh, you just want to fuck him." And then this is what the beauty of James Gunn writing and Peacemaker. Peacemaker just being like, "Is that a possibility?" And again, any other show he just ties them up and leaves. But this show, no, we have to have a whole dialogue sequence, and it's funny enough.
Great.
It works. Like if it were anybody else, it probably wouldn't be as funny as entertaining, and you'd be like, "Why is this dragging on?" But because of James Gunn is such a good storyteller.
It's the way he injects like regular everyday conversations and arguments into extraordinary situations.
Oh my God, when she yells at him for liking fucking pumped up kicks. Oh my God.
Yes,
because the whole thing starts because
songs about a murderer.
She has
not a good time.
She sees this Cinderella record. He's like, I love Cinderella. He's like, fuck yeah, and he's like talking about Cinderella,
and it's totally true. I know people like that who are into like fucking Foster the People and like Imagine Dragons.
I'm not Imagine Dragons, but I like Foster the People. I have some taste, but I know what you.
No, I'm just kidding.
Sorry.
But see, here's the thing: is that
I just made it awkward.
Jake likes that music, and I do too a little bit. I did own that album, the Foster the People album. But here's the thing: I like all sorts of music.
Yeah, I have a very eclectic
and
taste.
I do not only listen to shit. There are guys out there who are super irritating who only listen to indie
rock
shit
and 80s rock. Oh no, or Foster. Yeah, the indie rock.
Any
shit.
one thing, yeah, but it's the indie rock guys that piss me off because they are so fucking bohemian, dude. I want to punch them all in their fucking stupid, unshaved faces.
Well, now they have beards because they're hipsters.
They're hips. That's the problem. Whatever's hip, they're doing. And it's just like, fucking live your life, man.
Oh, man.
Fucking
trendies, man.
Oh, dude, I know guys like Evan, and I fucking hate him, dude. Like, you know what? We're listening to some fucking Metallica. Take off, dude.
Also love that the second to last scene of episode 2 is Peacemaker in bed with her
And Vigilante.
And they're smoking a joint.
No, the whole conversation that Vigilante, I would have shot you in the face 4 years ago for doing
Yeah.
that.
I can't believe they legalized it. I would have shot you in the face for it.
So mad.
Yeah.
So mad when they legalized it.
Well, and the couple also took a bribery to put
Right.
it on Augie instead of Peacemaker, so he's in jail. And that's when we find out he's the White Dragon, because there's a black guy who's sitting where he likes to sit.
Are you trying to bribe me? No. Because I would totally take a bribe. Oh, well, then yes.
Oh, I was kind of hoping you would bribe me. Well, then yes.
Because we would take a bribe. Awesome.
And then, well, I love the each after credit scene is kind of just an extra scene that they cut out of the show.
Fuck you, Evan.
Yeah. Oh, can I keep
Can
this
I
one?
keep this one?
Yeah,
Are you
sure.
fucking serious? Fuck you, Evan.
It's like, I love that James Gunn went out of his way to make that relationship extremely toxic, so you're totally fine with Peacemaker fucking her, which is so funny to me. But anyway, so then we get to episode 3, and that's where we have fucking Vigilante trying to go. He's like, dude, just, he called him, didn't he say like Vig?
Something, yeah.
Vig.
I think they call him Vig.
Well, he said Vig. He's like, Vig, be cool. I was
Yeah.
like, it's such a stupid thing. So then we go in, then he gets debriefed that he's got to kill the senator. He might have to kill the whole family because there might be butterflies, and this is where we see the conflict.
By the way, I don't care if they're kids anymore once their tongues start doing that weird shit. I'll fucking blow them away.
Once you find out they're clearly not human.
Yeah, dude, John, Peacemaker, just fucking shoot him. What the fuck is taking you, you know?
Yeah, well.
Anyway. But he's all humming and shit, like.
Yeah, so
like,
he's on his way there, and then you see the conflict, and be like, I don't think kill kids, and then she's like, you said you'd kill any man, woman, or child to get it. And he's like, And then this is a really cool little character development that I really appreciate. We find out that the reason why the dove of peace is what he calls his symbol. The reason the dove of peace is engraved in everything he has is that is how he disassociates from killing people. Because when it has the dove of peace on it, when he's killing someone, when it has that symbol, it's righteous. And I'm like, that's such a cool...
Every time I try to draw a dove of peace,
looks like a ghost. So yeah, he gets a sniper rifle and he goes, "Wait, there's no dove of peace on here." And they're like,
give
"What?"
him a Sharpie.
He's like, "I gotta have my symbol on everything I use, whatever." And they're like, "Whatever, here." And he gives him a Sharpie. He's like, "Draw it on yourself." And so he's like, "Oh, I hate drawing the dove of peace every time. It looks like a ghost." So he draws this shitty little thing. I'm not a drawer. So they set up and they stake it out, and yeah, we find out about Judo Master, who's like, yeah, how's you gonna hurt me? This
Who's classic, just a
tiny
awesome
little bitch.
Yeah, and he's
and
fucking. He's a little
just standing
punk
out front
too.
eating flaming hot Cheetos.
Can I have some of those? No.
But then he's standing there and they're hanging out, and John Cena doesn't have the shot because Secret's like this bodyguard is in the way, Secret Service looking guy, and he's like, I can't, and then he sees the kid. And yeah, we see them go in the room, and then the little tongue things come out of their mouth as they're eating food. Because once they walked into the house,
well, they're basically eating sugar like butterflies.
Yeah,
do.
once they walk in the house, they drop the facade and just were like moving robotically. Almost.
If you've ever seen a butterfly drink, those little curled up things are tongues, and they unravel, and that's how they eat.
They suck it.
So yeah, it makes sense that the butterfly human beings would have.
Anyway. So John Cena still can't do it, and then Vigilante's in the bushes, and he's like, "I followed you guys," or whatever. So then he goes, which is a nice tender moment for a second, and then it turns real dark and sinister. Is when Vigilante goes, "Hey, buddy, I'll take care of this."
Yeah,
like clearly saying that he's kind of having a panic attack and not dealing with it. And then he ho hums and just whistles and just boom, and he took his time.
Yeah,
that's the thing that really drove it home for me, because he could have just pop. Now I know it's a sniper rifle, so there's gonna be like boom recoil, but then immediately boom.
Yeah.
But him, it's like boom, child down, mother down. You know, like he was waiting for her to say like, and to me that was more sadistic than just popping him and humming about it, which alone is sadistic.
Right.
Then Judo Master finds him, beats him up, and then he takes them to the house because the senator didn't get shot. He was the surviving member. So they take him to the basement to torture them. And then, excuse me, and then we have a fight with a Secret Service guy who's like, I got a family and all this, and then Harcourt shoots him because I can't remember her name. Amanda
Waller's daughter. Yeah,
which was a cool little twist. I was like, ooh, interesting. Yeah,
because they're all talking shit about Waller.
Yeah,
the
and
whole
then
time.
they also made it clear they weren't going to kill the family because they knew only the senator was the butterfly.
Unless they knew that they were all butterflies.
So they were like, we're not going to kill people that don't deserve it. We're not Amanda Waller. And she's like, ugh. And I was like, okay, wait a minute, James Gunn.
Yeah.
Don't try and make me care about Amanda Waller because I like her daughter. That's some shit.
Here's the thing.
Because Amanda Waller's still a bitch.
Yeah, here's the thing that sucks about that scene where she ends up shooting the guy is I know I want these characters to succeed.
Yeah.
And to succeed, nobody can know about what they're doing.
But then you realize that these are
But
still.
that's a dude who has kids and a wife.
But that, and again, I think that's smart that he did that and
Yeah.
had that, because then you start to realize, oh yeah, these are
classic. Damned if you do, damned if you don't, man.
Well, this is a hit squad. These are not people
right
that are good people.
They're not volunteering at the
They're
soup
doing
kitchen.
some shady shit.
Yeah.
And
they're not giving half their paycheck to United Way.
Right, and you forget you forget that for a while because you start to like them and stuff, but then you're like, wait a minute, they're still doing some shady
There's
shit.
still some awful fucking people.
And again, going back to what James Gunn is trying to do in his DC stuff is interesting because this show is dealing with vigilantism and the morality of the shit that we're watching, the violence of this stuff.
Yeah.
Where we shouldn't root for characters like the Punisher or when they're brutally murdering people.
And the problem is that James Gunn did such a good job of that in the Suicide Squad.
And I was gonna get to that. But that's another thing too. There's a deep political message in that first movie, which I didn't really think about until I watched it again last night. When I noticed this whole movie is talking about American intervention in foreign land, and the whole time they're saying we shouldn't have been the Task Force X. I'm having a stroke. Task Force X should not have been in Corto Maltese. They shouldn't have been, and of course it was the Americans that found the Starro and was the ones that didn't. And like what Thinker says, you didn't want to do it in your land because you were too afraid of the publicity that it would bring and the bad press. And
didn't
you didn't
feel a little bit for Starro too?
I did. I was sad
right?
for Starro. I was when he says at the end, I was happy drifting along the stars. I was like, God damn it, James Gunn! Why do you make me care about the starfish,
fucker?
No, but yeah, that's what I mean.
Why'd you make me care about that planet?
What I'm seeing a lot of in Peacemaker is a lot of in the sense that he is driving home a message that I think it at times can seem a little heavy-handed, but I think still works effectively as metaphor.
The problem with it is that it is so good and so subtle and so well done that the people that need to be paying attention to this kind of message are not getting the joke.
No, they're still going to just be like, yeah, Harley Quinn killed all those dudes.
Yeah, they're still going to wear Punisher shirts when they go
enjoy the violence but not understand the subtext of the violence.
They're still going to put the Punisher shirt underneath their uniform when they go be cops.
So yeah, then we have the torture scene, and that's where Vigilante takes his throne as the silliest fucking character in the show. So he takes his mask off, and he's trying to... He keeps making these weird, wacky faces, and Peacemaker's like, what the hell are you doing? And he's like, I'm trying to make it so they can't identify me if I keep making a face.
In a lineup,
yeah. Because he's wanted for murder, obviously.
Oh, yeah, dude. He's wanted for a lot of shit.
And then
but the way to me, the way the actor just goes for it.
Yeah.
First, the abortion scene in the first episode. Oh my god!
What are you
right?
celebrating about? My girlfriend and I are getting an abortion. Why are you trying to hook up with my husband? My cousin?
You can come with. Or you're invited.
You're invited.
Yeah.
I'm not coming to your abortion, man.
So already I already like the character. I already like the guy. I think he's one of those what is it? One of those just nuts.
Yeah.
That nobody should relate to.
He's a very chaotic character.
Oh God, yes. What drove it home to me was when he was like, obviously for any normal human, you would know where those things go. But he's so wrapped up in another world that it's like, where does this go? With the CDs. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like that. And the fact that he almost seems to feel... Well, it's not that he doesn't feel pain when his toe is being taken off, but he certainly isn't. I would be screaming. I mean,
no, he's more so telling him to maintain his toe.
Yeah.
He's like, why does this hurt? Because you're fucking dull as fuck.
Yeah. I'm not gonna give him anything.
Oh my god, that's
Can you give
so
him a little?
funny. Yeah, when he's like, I don't fucking care. Do it.
Yeah.
Juice him up.
No.
'Cause he puts the thing on his balls.
Oh.
He puts the car battery on his balls. Yeah. Don't worry, buddy. I'm not giving him anything. Can you give him a little? And then, oh my god, my favorite part is when he breaks free because they arm a bomb that wasn't working.
Yeah.
And they walk up and it finally blows open the door and they get into the basement.
He's funny too. The scene with him and Economos by the tree.
Yeah.
That's pretty. Like I've never had to have feelings.
I've never had.
I'm feeling a little chilly. Are you really? No.
Yeah.
But I saw it as an opportunity for growth, so I said it.
So they get into there, and then Cena, because that he was able to break out his chair.
He's actually going to be in GOTG3, that actor, the leader
guy
of the.
who's playing the
the guy. His name is I can't remember his name right now.
I can't either.
But he's going to be. A lot of people think he's going to be playing the High Evolutionary in the GOTG3, which I would love because he would totally kill it.
So then he breaks out of his chair, and I laughed so hard at this because he had to do a cheesy one-liner because that's his character. Peace out, motherfucker, and shoots him in the face with a shotgun and kills him.
Yeah.
And then we see this little butterfly thing fly out, and he goes, "Huh."
And it's
Project Butterfly.
weird
and it's funny because he makes the joke about the Suicide Squad earlier in the show. He's like, Project Starfish, and it was a giant starfish. Yeah. Is there going to be a giant butterfly? Am I going to fight Mothra?
Yeah. That whole sequence where he's, you're not going to fight a Mothra, okay? He keeps saying it too.
I'm just saying, you guys have a thing.
If I'm going to fight a Mothra, you're not going to fight a Mothra. I forgot about that, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. All in all, it's just great.
Man, and to wrap up, just some other things that made me laugh. When Waller's daughter, who... She goes, am I going to have to take care of him? And then, like, with a gun. And he goes, no, it's not that thing. Just take care of it. And she goes, you mean, like, she keeps doing, like, a money. Like, she doesn't even, I don't even know, like, what gesture. Why are we playing charades right now? What are you saying? I'm going to have to bribe them. Yes, I don't fucking care. Just go.
Oh, man.
Whatever. Just take care of it. But another thing that I really love is that I just the scene where you see all the butterflies pop up around the world, and so it's all this big maps that are like alluding to bigger things.
Yeah.
I'm so and it's so good that I can't wait to see what they do the rest of the season because there's 5 more episodes. And they're gonna do them every Thursday.
Which kind of sucks. Yeah. So every Thursday
man, I'm telling you, I get it. I understand why these companies do this. If they do more weekly content, they have more chance of you resubscribing. I get it.
This is actually really kind of cool.
But just give me a Netflix model. I can just watch the whole thing because I want to watch so much more of the show.
Here's why I like it. Is one,
it's good for our podcast,
right? But one, like I have 3 shows every week that I'm waiting for. Like on Wednesday
you get
is Book of Boba Fett.
Wednesday.
Thursday is going to be my Peacemaker, and Monday or Sunday is going to be my Righteous Gemstones.
I need to catch up. I haven't watched it.
There's only 2 out of the 2nd season so far, but it is fucking great.
I need to catch up. I haven't watched it.
It's fucking great. Of course.
No,
but it's kind of neat because since streaming, sorry, I hadn't finished my thought. My bad. I will real quick. With streaming and everything, it's been a long time since I had must-watch TV or appointment TV, as they used to call it, right?
Yeah.
And with streaming, I can still watch the show anytime I want that day.
Right.
But I still have to wait.
It's still fun to watch it the day it comes out. Right?
Yeah. And honestly, no matter how much, no matter how fun binging a show is, you still feel gross afterwards.
Really? I feel satisfied.
Really?
Yeah.
If you sat like for 5 hours straight watching a TV show, you don't feel like.
You know what's funny? There's times when I watch a show on Netflix that had been on TV for a while, and I hadn't watched it, and I was just watching. And there's cliffhangers on seasons, and I'm like, man, if I was watching this when it came out, I'd be furious.
So yeah, Breaking Bad, or no, not Breaking Bad, but Better Call Saul is like that for me. The last 2 seasons. They've been waiting for like 2 years now, but I caught on when they were like already almost done with season 3. So that's a show where I got to catch up. You know what I mean? I could binge all that shit and then, oh, hey, here's the new season, whatever. But yeah, having to wait a whole season, fuck that shit. And I finally finished The Righteous Gemstones season 1 right before the season 2 came out, which was great because I was like, I don't have to wait. I only have to wait a week.
Yeah. I think that you don't have to watch the Suicide Squad to enjoy Peacemaker. They do a really good job of filling you in.
Yeah.
At the beginning.
Yeah, you're not going to miss it.
I would recommend watching both personally because I think watching the movie, going back and watching it now, he's done a great job of the continuity of the movie to the show, and I'm not surprised that they went with Peacemaker just because of John Cena.
Yeah.
But honestly, I am surprised that Peacemaker became the TV show. Of all of those characters, I think he's the only one that would work as a TV show, to be honest. Because I don't think...
Well, first you got to eliminate all the people who died.
Well, then you got to think of... I don't know if Bloodsport works as a show. I think he's better as just the leader in the movies.
I think he's better, like, especially his character. Even though it's a compelling character...
You got a lot of his character backstory in that movie.
Yes.
And that's why the show for Peacemaker works better, I think.
Right.
Because of that, yeah.
I think King Shark would only work if he were with somebody. But I would totally watch a King Shark show.
That's that movie. When he's looking out the window and he sees those people kissing, and you see the look in his face of like longing for that, and I'm like, why the fuck do I care about this giant shark?
How am I empathizing with this
giant shark man? Why? And it's like, again, what a good storyteller can do. Why am I caring about this giant starfish?
Mm-hmm. No.
I was happy floating along the stars. Like, God damn it, that's such a good line.
Yeah.
It's so sad. I love it. And that's what I love about James Gunn's DC. It's very much a blurred line of what's right and wrong.
You know what? DC wanted down and dirty and gritty and shit, and James Gunn is giving it to him with a heart.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's what you wanted. That's what you wanted, DC.
The Squad ends on a really positive note.
Yeah. Dude, you see that last
when he pets the rat. He's overcoming his fears.
You see that last scene with Ratcatcher and Ratcatcher 2 on top of that
with
building
and that music
and
underneath.
You understand why she cared about her dad so much, even though he was a really bad dad.
Yeah, I mean he was a heroin addict, so I mean, yeah, but I get it.
And why TT kills it, man?
A little bit that he's in.
Yeah.
And I feel like we haven't quite got to that Peacemaker. But
God, I want to go to New Zealand.
But I think by the end of it, I think we're going to have that same feeling of a positive feeling to it.
Yeah.
And again, as shitty as John Cena is, not John Cena. As shitty as Christopher Smith is, the character, John Cena is, again, fantastic he's perfect for the role because he's so charismatic and you want to root for him.
Yeah.
And honestly, I knew he wasn't going to die in that first episode, but when he's getting sliced, I'm like,
dude.
Because again, I care about him, so I'm cringing. I'm like, Oh, when he fucking stabs Vigilante, I exited because we didn't even talk about Judo.
Dude, yeah.
No, the Judo Master scene when he's eating the fucking flaming Cheetos and they're torturing him, and can I have one? He flicks it at him and bangs.
What the fuck are Cheetos? What the fuck is in Cheetos?
Judo Master, just fucking beats the shit out of him. But then he stabs him in the arm, which it looks painful.
Oh, and then the
like,
last one.
Fuck! And he goes, all right, I gotta leave. I got too many warrants.
Economos apparently kills him at the end. Judo Master.
I don't think he killed him.
I don't know. He hit him a lot at the end.
I think
there was some squishing and some crunching.
I think he shows up later. I think they would have been more explicit if
I think so too.
They'd have his skull caved in, I think.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Versus he was just not. I think he just knocked him out. But that was funny when look, as someone who has been T-boned, every time I see that, I go,
Yeah.
And when he rams that van and just obliterates his car, and then Judo Master, and he screams Kaya after he knocks him out. Kaya!
Yeah.
But yeah, I love that I wonder what they're gonna do with him. And that's again, the funny thing about the intro is the more you watch the show, the funnier the intro is because he does incorporate every character. So I mean, he catches Judo Master at the end and hoists him up, and when he poses with the eagle, so it's like And the cops are in it too, and you don't know who the cops are until the second episode.
Yeah.
The random neighbor that yells at him that he's like,
Yeah.
if you made up a name, why did you make it so long? I don't fucking know. I don't sit around and think of names to make up. Fuck you.
So
we're not talking about Boba Fett. We're
in
at hour
conclusion,
15
yeah,
in.
fuck it.
I'm
And
sorry.
Bucks are about to play. No, suffice to say, you know what? Let's just say it. Hey, Robert Rodriguez, we expect a lot from you, man, because you've shown us a lot. And when you give us a speeder bike sequence that looks like I could outrun it, literally, honestly, everything else A+. But dude, really? Did you not watch the dailies? Or I don't. Okay, that's all I got to say about that episode.
I'll follow that up by saying, I don't understand the hate that this show is getting. I really don't.
Yeah. Other than that, perfect show.
I think there are some legitimate criticisms that people have out there. There's also the fandom menace who are fucking shitbags, and I don't care what they think. But I think that it's weird. The show is getting a little bit more divisive, and I mostly think it's because people are not getting the show they expected.
Yeah.
And I think it takes a lot of... Because I get it. I think a lot of the stuff in the past is more compelling than the stuff that's currently happening on the show.
Yeah.
I think the flashbacks are better. Like, I didn't expect to care... Like, you were talking about the Tuscans and how much this show has made them...
Dude, they showed how they make their gaffy sticks, dude. That was fucking cool.
Well, it's cool
That
because
kicked ass.
it gives you... Like, someone said this in one of the reviews or something, and I kind of agree with it. It made we like the Tuscans more in the show because it's more of like a native, like an indigenous people tribe, or a Native American tribe,
Yeah.
and they do a good job of it. It feels like Dances with Wolves,
Yeah.
where he's getting welcomed into this tribe of these native Tatooine people.
I can't wait till he gets revenge.
But yeah, and I was when he finds out they're all when they wiped out that camp. I was like, that sucks, man. It's devastating.
dicks,
But again, that's more compelling than what's currently happening, and I understand that criticism. I think that's pretty valid.
It's kind of cool that the Jabbas are back, or the Hutts.
But yeah, and the fucking Wookiee was badass.
Kersantin
was dope.
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude.
He was awesome. But I do understand that, and I wonder how the season's going to shake out in terms of him being the new crime boss of Tatooine and that whole relationship with the mayor. I don't know. It is something where I just feel like people are not. I think people expected him to be this classic Boba Fett.
Well, they were expecting The Mandalorian, and you're not going to get that because The Mandalorian doesn't flash back a lot. The Mandalorian is kind of moving forward and stuff. Book of Boba Fett is supposed to
tell you how he got to where he is from.
While you're dealing with the stuff that he's going through right now,
and it informs how he is because there's the whole twins thing. And
I am a huge fan of Moma Nadon, and that is the real name of Hammerhead from the cantina scene in A New Hope. Okay, Hammerheads are called Ithorians. They're some of my favorite characters in the Star Wars universe. They have mouths on either side of their neck. While it is possible for humans to learn it, to understand it, it is almost impossible for humans to speak it because they have stereo mouths. And I loved in the first episode that the mayor is an Ithorian, and they showed that. I loved in the second episode, because I love the Tuscans, that they showed this crazy mystical way that they find their fucken wood for the gaffy stick.
Yeah,
and then they showed how they make it.
Snort that lizard thing? That was weird.
And the third episode is cool as fuck because it's just cool. Fuck you, haters.
All right. Well, that's been another episode of Off Panel Off
No,
Topic.
I hope they have a Bomar Monk episode where they go and talk about the Bomar monks in Jabba's palace, because they've shown them. I could write a book about what you don't know.
That should have been the theme song to the Book of Boba Fett.
I could write a book about what you don't know.
By the way, hats off. I wasn't totally sold on it right away, but hats off to the producers for okaying that very out there theme song for Book of Boba Fett. I like it.
Yeah, I think The Mandalorians is better because Mandalorians is just so. Maybe it's because
I'm saying like the and like
Yeah,
the dum
weird-
dum dum,
yeah.
like that's weird, and it's cool that
Well,
they took a chance.
They're doing more again. They're doing more like native Tatooine shit. So
Yeah.
it's got more of that Western. It still kind of feels like a Western, but it feels more of like the for lack of a better term, the Indian side of the cowboys and Indian story.
Next time you watch Book of Boba Fett, don't look at the credits when the song is playing, and just listen to all the different. Because you and I, being musicians, we can appreciate this. That there's all these different. There's like 4 different, things going on at the same time.
Yeah.
And they're all starting and ending at different times, and it's fucking cool to hear like how somebody. It's just cool. I like that it's out there, and it's totally like not. It's out there, dude. Like you're taking a chance, and I like it because it works.
Well, anyway,
That's it.
I guess that's it.
And that's it.
And then you look at them and then you say,
Pizza time.
"Why do you find that so funny?"
Because he's just such a. I love Toby, but you're such a dork.
I need to get the drop of this. I say bold strategy cotton a lot in my life.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I'm
Bold strategy cotton.
when someone makes a questionable thing, that's what I say. Bold strategy cotton. Yeah. But now I'm starting to adopt the idea of like they're gonna go do something. I'm like, all right, man, you do you.
Bold
Godspeed, Spider-Man.
Godspeed, Spider-Man. To this, you know what? I can't believe I don't have this either. But to this day, I still do the fucking bone saw. When somebody's like, "Are you ready?" Bone saw, he's ready. I don't do that as much, but we used to do that all the time. Our favorite one to do from the bone saw quotes. What are you doing over there? Luke and I would do that to each other all the time.
The movie that Willem Dafoe did about Jesus that got him in such hot water back in the day.
It was a biopic or it was a documentary because Willem Dafoe is Jesus.
I actually I was actually reading an article about like some stuff that was weird. Director Lars von Trier, we won't be surprised by this, but he actually had during a full frontal shot with Willem Dafoe, he had to use a stunt cock
because his dick is so huge. Big old hog.
Wow, impressive, Willem.
And that's it.